Impeachment trial of President Trump began in the Senate today. Here to talk about this is Ed Espinoza from Progress, Texas, and Travis County GOP Communications Director Andy Hogue. Thank you both for being here.
Good to be here. You bet.
Andy, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell started his comments by saying the House impeachment was unfair and the Senate side will be fair. Do you think the rules as proposed by the Senate would amount to a fair trial?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly no expert on impeachment, but turnabout is fair play. But I think the Republicans are being as kind as they can be by offering a fairer process. Even by just admitting that we want to have a fair process is a lot more generous than I might be in his position. So I would say that when all is said and done here in the next week, I believe in a week and a half is when we're going to see the nitty-gritty of this turn out. We'll probably see a more accurate view of what the rules are going to be like. But for now, there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of revenge and tit for tat. So let's see what happens next Monday.
Ed, Democrats argue that not allowing witnesses in the Senate impeachment trial is tantamount to a cover-up. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a good point to bring up because during the House impeachment, all Republicans could do were talk about wanting to have witnesses. And now that the rubber meets the road, they don't want witnesses. This is suspicious. Why wouldn't you want to hear from people who were involved on what their accounts were? This is an example of a process that, frankly, is not set up to be fair. Realize that Mitch McConnell set some rules up that amounted to a drive-by impeachment, and the only reason the rules were changed was because members of his own conference, Republican senators, were uncomfortable with the stringent rules he had set up. Therefore, his hand was forced to change them. Hopefully, this will be a trial where we can actually see some fairness and not so much partisanship from Republicans.
Andy, would it be fair to the country to not allow witnesses in the Senate trial?
I don't think that would be fair at all. It might be fair in terms of the game of politics, but in terms of overall fairness for the health of the country, absolutely not. I have to agree with Ed, but I think a lot of this will shake down over the next week. We'll see a lot of, again, back and forth, a lot of revenge for what the Democrats did to the Republicans, which was frankly just unthinkable and frankly very immature. So I would like to see what comes of this. This may be just more of the negotiation process, maybe a little bit of strong-handed remarks to try and force the rules a little more toward the Republican favor.
Now, we're still early in the process, but Ed, how do the rules proposed in Trump's Senate impeachment trial compare to those of President Clinton's trial back in the 90s?
So I'm not an impeachment expert, but I did go through the 98 trial, and what I remember then was that both sides had more time to make their case. They did allow witnesses, and that was a trial that lasted a little longer compared to what Mitch McConnell proposed earlier this week, which was that there be 24 hours of opening statements. It's just not enough. He has since changed that, and again, it was the senators from Colorado, Maine, Arizona, and North Carolina. Those 4 Republican senators, those are ones that people should really be watching during this because those are states where the senators are having very tough re-elections. They are either underwater or even in the polls, and Trump is doing the same. There's not a whole lot of coattails there to help them out.
Okay, we are out of time, but Ed, Andy, thank you both for coming in and sharing your perspectives with us tonight.
Thanks.